Welcome everyone again. My name is Gunesh and I'm the marketing manager at Inspire-Tech. And thank you for joining us. I'll be your moderator today. And today's topic is achieving state-of-the-art file security. And we have Bruce Chu from IBM, Nyantan Zhao from Athena Dynamics, and Aaron Tan from Inspire-Tech with us. As you all know, IBM is a leader in software-defined storage, and they have been recently recognized by Gartner as a leader in its Magic Quadrant for object storages, which is 5th year in a row this year. And Athena Dynamics is a cybersecurity consulting distributor in Singapore. And as the APAC headquarters of Sasa software, they've been protecting organizations with GateScanner CDR technology for more than half a decade. And Inspire-Tech provides easy-to-use and secure software products to boost workforce efficiency and productivity in both public and private sectors. So today is the second of our Future of Work webinar series. And if you were with us last week, thanks for joining us again. And if it's your first time with us in our webinar series, welcome. And thank you again for being with us. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go through the agenda first. So similar to last week, we will start off with a short discussion just after the why future work and like why we decided to do this webinar series. And then afterwards, we're going to do like a short discussion on challenges that the enterprises face today. And then what are some trends that are happening? And then we'll have a short presentation from each speaker, and then we'll have a short demo on how these three solutions come together to improve the file security in enterprises. Then we'll close up with another short discussion on the future tips and tricks from our speakers and a Q&A session. So just a little housekeeping before we start. First of all, we'll be giving out some small gifts and we'll announce the winners after our Q&A session. And as for the Q&A session, if you have any questions during the presentation, please use the Q&A button instead of the chat one on the Zoom control panel. So we'll be collecting the questions during the presentation, and then I'll try to ask as many of them as possible. And before we start the discussion, why did we decide to create a webinar series called Future of Work? So because we wanted to highlight the importance of innovating, adapting to the latest trends, and a lot of organizations have already started their digital transformation journeys already, but it was much like at a lower rate than what we had to face like basically this past year. And the pandemic has accelerated the transformation and changed some workforce trends already, such as the automation, digitalization, battling the shadow IT, and remote work, and more, right? So for this Future of Work webinar series, we decided to get together with our partner companies to discuss how we help organizations to address these challenges, ease the transition to this new normal, and prepare for the future of work. And we have planned 5 webinars in 5 weeks. So the webinars will continue on the same time every Thursday until the 19th of November. So we hope that you can find some time to join us in the upcoming webinars too. And today we'll be looking at like 3 products as a whole. So IBM Cloud Storage from IBM, GateScanner from Athena Dynamics, and EasiShare from Inspire-Tech. And our speakers will go through how these solutions bring file security one step ahead, how they can help organizations to protect themselves from advanced cyber threats and prevent file-based malicious attacks, even they're not detectable by the traditional detection-based technologies. So with that, let's welcome our speakers, Bruce, Zoe, and Aaron. Welcome to the second webinar of Future Work webinar series. Thanks for being with us. And like I mentioned, we're starting off with like a short discussion and with the question of challenges. So my question is like basically for all of you, when you look at the future of work, what are you all hearing from your clients as like common pain points across industries? What are the key challenges that they are facing these days? So Aaron, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you, Ganesh. Hi, everybody. I'm Aaron Chan, the Business Development Manager at Inspire-Tech. So the catchword for me is actually data security. You know, the amount of documents, PDFs, spreadsheets that we generate every day is mind-boggling. So IDC predicts that as much as 80% of this data will be unstructured. Now, as the data grows, the risk of cyber attacks also increases. And with the new normal, working from home, cyber attacks have roughly quadrupled since the COVID-19 pandemic started. Now, protecting company sensitive data is no longer an option here, right? Because any data breaches or any violations of compliance requirements now will cost you millions in fines and reputational damage. But yet we see some companies are still hesitating to deploy the solutions for fear that it will actually impact the user experience and productivity. So in my presentation later on, I will provide an overview of the EasiShare security features and the capabilities of our secure file sharing platform. I will also share the insights we have gained from working with the government agencies and the commercial enterprises on how EasiShare will handle their confidential data without disrupting their productivity. And all the three speakers have finished presenting. I will also give a quick demo on the combined three technologies. Thank you.
Thank you too, Aaron. Bruce, do you want to answer our questions on challenges?
Yeah, sure. From IBM perspective, what we are seeing today, data security is the #1 IT priority for organizations of all types and sizes. So as data keep growing, most of the data, or up to 80%, is unstructured data. So many companies have this data stored in many silos, different locations, and they are struggling with capacity, modernization, security challenges, etc. So they need a centralized storage and a more secure way to better store and protect this data. So later in my presentation, I'll be showing you how IBM can address these challenges with IBM Cloud Object Storage. And of course, today, to fit to the topic, I'll be focusing more on the security aspects of the IBM Object Storage. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Zor?
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Zor from Athena Dynamics. I'm the AVP of Business Development. So yeah, for challenges, as Aaron mentioned, a lot of people are adjusting to the new normal, right? The work from home. Everybody is bringing their corporate business to their home and mostly working from there. So the thing is, we are seeing a lot of targeted phishing campaigns and file-based attacks for people who are working from home, because they are basically away from the usual protection that they have in their corporate environment, right? So all the more we should be more vigilant, and staff at home should also be well educated as well equipped with necessary work from home kind of technologies that will protect them from these advanced threats. So basically, yeah, because at home you have things that you download from the personal PCs, or things that are in a home network that can affect the corporate data in the corporate network. So yeah, in this presentation, we will be sharing with you some of the ways that we can work together with the EasiShare solution as well as the IBM to protect the staff from advanced file-based threats. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So thank you for sharing the challenges from like different perspective also. And just to summarize, like from each of you, like the increase in advanced threats, and then growth of unstructured data, and then the challenges of working remotely, right? So like this is what we're gonna cover basically today. So thank you so much again. So Aaron, the stage is yours to talk about how EasiShare help organizations to keep their files secure. So you can share your screen already.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, thank you.
Right, thank you. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, So I'm going to start my presentation by addressing the challenges that we mentioned earlier on. So with this explosion of data growth, right, something like 350 terabyte of data for a typical enterprise, sitting in your ERP systems like your SAP, your Oracle, and then basically each department have their own way of doing things, dealing with this data. Could be your HR department, your legal department, and it is the IT job to protect those records, right? They will put a perimeter around those systems. Now, problem starts when you now need all these business units, right? They need to communicate with parties outside those perimeters. They could be using their own solution to share the data. And then the IT admin here will basically lose visibility of the user activities. So what's happening here now is basically you run the risk of bringing ransomware into the company, right? The company will suffer, get a fine or the reputational damage. And this is through no fault of the workers. They're just doing their job, right? So how can we solve this problem? So we're going to be looking at two things. Number one, the platform where this data is coming in. And then number two is basically how we make sure this data is sanitized before they are stored. Okay, so why we think that EasiShare matters? Because the reason EasiShare matters is because it is an enterprise-grade file security solution. And this is also why EasiShare is the #1 file sharing and collaboration solution used by the Singapore government agencies. They trust EasiShare with their external file sharing while keeping the data secure, up-to-date, and organized. At Inspire-Tech, the security of our data client is always a top priority. EasiShare is built for security from the ground up, right? And when we designed the platform, we had the user experience and the system admin control foremost in our mind. So question now is, how do we safeguard your data? We do it on 3 levels. Firstly, at the security level here. So here now you'll be sending and receiving files over the HTTPS. You are no longer sending files as attachment. The recipients will get a secure link in their email to download or upload the files. Okay, the files are encrypted. The data in transit is secured via the TLS encrypted connection. Data at rest is encrypted with a 256 bit of AES encryption. So the other security features that we brought in also, like the OTP 2FA. In this case here, we basically want to verify the identity of the recipients. We also have got view-only mode with watermarks, where if you do not want the recipients to be able to download or print a hard copy of the document. We also got a set link expiry, and we also have got limited number of download attempts. Okay, on the visibility level here, so now we're basically talking about complete audit logs of the user activities as well as the system admin activities, right? So basically, we're going to be addressing all the W questions. Who sent what? Where did he send to? When did he send to, right? Or the same thing for a system admin. So when did this IT admin give this particular permission to this particular user, right? So all these audit logs, they are helped to basically design to meet your compliance and your security requirements. And lastly, on the control level here, we are now talking about managing your granular access and your permissions, not only at the company level, but also at the group and at the user level here. So as the user level here, so say if you are starting a group project and you have got, you want to grant members of that project access to your folder, and you can give them actually different permissions as well. And from the system admin point of view, basically they are now going to be managing your user rights and your privileges, controlling your access to the various devices and folders. Okay. The other EasiShare features where we think it stands out from our competitors, the first one being the air gap architecture, right? So when we built EasiShare, this was about 7 years ago. The government wanted a private Dropbox. Hence, we worked hand in hand with them to build this solution. And the government wanted a air-gap architecture. So basically what we're saying, what do we mean by air-gap architecture here? So we're saying data flow is going to be from one way, from a higher security zone, which is your intranet, down to the lower security zone, which is your DMZ zone, with a data diode or SFTP one-way connectivity. The second feature which stand out from our competitor is our two-tier recycle bin, we call it. So basically, let's say a user deletes the files, whether is it intentionally or unintentionally, and then empties his recycle bin, right? So all the files that actually flow into the admin recycle bin here. The admin can recover the files before the files get permanently deleted. Now, from the IT admin, you can basically configure the number of days you want to keep the files in the admin recycle bin, right? So you can say after X number of days, you want the files all to be auto-purged. The third differentiating factor for me is the true file type validation. Here, basically, we're saying, okay, the company has a policy whereby I will not allow you to upload any executable files, .exe files. And let's say you have some clever staff. He thinks that by changing the extension of the file .exe, I change it to .doc, say, and then I try to upload the document, and then thinking that it will go through. With EasiShare, we do analyze your file structure and your contents, right? And basically we can say, hold on, actually this is a .exe file. Despite you naming it as a DOC file, we will not let you upload the file document. The fourth feature I want to mention, this is basically EasiShare will provide your IT admin with the ability to centralize your account control and management using AD and LDAP. And we also support the SSO. Okay, so let me come to the use case here. This is the Monetary Authority of Singapore, the Central Bank of Singapore. Here they have a requirement of, so basically the central bank controls all the financial institutions registered in Singapore, and they need to share files with these financial institutions. And one of the requirements is that these documents are quite big, up to 10 GB. With EasiShare, we have tested up to 50 GB. And theoretically, we will say that there is actually no limit to the file size. Now, the other requirement of the central bank is they want to verify the identity of the recipients. So they are the one who says, okay, I need you to do by the OTP. So basically, before the recipient can download the document, the system will prompt and ask you to generate an OTP. You input a PIN number before you can download the document. Obviously, for the central bank, it's very important in terms of the traceability, the audit logs of both the users and the system admin. The second use case I'm going to be highlighting here is the Institute of Technical Education, ITE. They have 3 campuses spread in Singapore. They are a post-secondary institution. They are actually way ahead pre-COVID. This is actually pre-COVID. They wanted to give the lecturers the ability to work at home or even at a cafe, basically. And basically, you know, these lecturers will have the ability to work offline, happily work the whatever document he or she is doing, and then basically save them. As soon as he's connected to a network, the files will automatically be synced to the central repository. We are proud to say IBM was actually also involved in this deal. They bought the iCourse from IBM because it offers the resiliency, the durability for them. Okay, this is our other customer successes. You can see there are lots of household names there. You have got things like people, for audiences who might not be familiar with the Singapore agency. So let me just give you a quick overview. So you have got people from the utilities, people from the transport, people from the healthcare. Similarly, on the commercial side also, we have got people from the insurance company, from leisure, resorts world, healthcare, as well as education. Okay, let me just quickly delve into the air-gapped architecture that I was talking about. So the EasiShare architecture was designed to reduce the organization attack surface and protect the provide the protection from the outside threats. So EasiShare is a 3-tier design with a web app and a DB server, all built on Microsoft technology. Each tier can be scaled independently, so you can add load balancing and redundancy if you need it. We also offer one-click updates, so we keep the system libraries up to date, and we will also provide security patches on a priority basis. We also adhere to the OSWAP coding practices, and with EasiShare being widely deployed by government agency, right? So EasiShare also undergoes regular third-party security audits. Now, the reason behind this whole webinar is to showcase actually our integration with the best-in-class solutions. So we have partners like we had last week from Tiger. They leverage on the AI for the semantic search. We have Bruce from IBM. We are storage agnostic here. Apart from IBM, we also basically can connect to your NAS, your CFAS, your web dev, and all the cloud storages. We have got Athena Dynamics here with the GateScanner. So basically, they're going to be preventing the malware from infiltrating your network, right? So EasiShare later on will show you is integrated with the GateScanner to sanitize the files before they are uploaded to the platform. Last but not least, we also have got a REST API here. Basically, we're going to offer you a API to integrate with any of your enterprise systems. Okay, so later on in the demo, I will show you how EasiShare, when you upload a document, the GateScanner is going to sanitize the document before we load it into IBM Object Storage. And then basically we'll also have got logs whereby you can basically integrate with a SAM here, basically example Splunk, which is actually the partner for us on the 5th webinar, which is on the 19th of November. With that, I've come to the end of my presentation. Over to you, Ganesh.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for like going through the security features of EasiShare and then the how the 3 solutions actually, like a short intro on the how it works together. So now, Zo, are you going to share your screen? Sorry, Bruce. Yeah, okay. Then now Zo can go into detail of what Aaron just mentioned on the GateScanner and then the CDR technology a little bit. So over to you, Zo. Oh, you are on mute still.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can. Okay.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Ganesh.
No worries.
Hi, everybody. I'm Zo, and I'm from the business development team of Athena Dynamics, as well as the Sasa APAC. So as Aaron and Ganesh mentioned earlier, I'll be sharing with you a little bit more on how we can do the file sanitization through the GateScanner technology. So just a quick background itself. Athena Dynamics was started from the BH Global Group. It's an FTX main board listed company since 2005, and it's been around for more than 50 years. And in 2014, we started Athena Dynamics from the IT department of BH Global. That's another long story itself, which I won't go into today. Then we have started with the Sasa GateScanner, and we have deployed GateScanner technology in all the major government agencies and defense agencies, as well as various enterprises in Singapore and the region. And because of that, the relationship progressed further. And then in 2018, we formed an organization called Sasa APAC to serve as the regional HQ with the Technical Competency Center located right in Singapore with the highly trained team to support the Sasa customers in Singapore throughout the region. So today, these are some of the pain points and challenges that we are trying to address. So document sharing within clients or colleagues or even with the vendors and suppliers is very common, especially during this time of working from home. Everybody is probably relying more on like maybe Dropbox or like OneDrive kind of sharing, but there are a lot of risks involved in this because there's no way to ensure that the files being shared are safe, especially without the protection of the enterprise environment that you are usually having in your office. And another thing is typically people will just try to scan the files they receive with an antivirus that they have on their PC. But the thing is, advanced threats these days are not really detectable by traditional detection-based kind of mechanisms. Because malwares are getting advanced, they have ways to bypass antivirus, they have ways to encrypt themselves to stay hidden. And then even for technologies like sandboxes, a lot of malwares are starting to become sandbox aware and only activate when it's not in the sandbox environment. So there are a lot of 0 days and encrypted malwares and new variants of malwares are coming out. So how do we address all these? So GateScanner CDR stands for Content Disarm and Reconstruction. Basically, CDR technology is not an antivirus. So because normally if we say file cleansing technologies, people will be like, oh, are you an antivirus? It's not. But antivirus is involved inside. I will share later in the solution. So CDR itself is a non-detection based technology. Basically, it prevents sophisticated file-based kind of malicious attacks. And by basically treating every single file or email that it receives as a suspicious file and try to disarm them or transform them into a neutralized copy based on a set of rules that we preset. There are various ways to perform sanitization for various types of files. And then the key thing is a good CDR solution maintains the usability and functionality of the files. So most of the time you will barely notice that there was anything changed to the file. And yeah, the file is fully usable. So for GateScanner CDR solution itself, this is a quick overview. We have 3 different layers. The first layer is antivirus engine. So we still put the antivirus engines because they are effective against known threats, right? So if a file comes in and it's a known virus, we can just use the antivirus engines as a pre-filter to filter out. And then those files that are missed by the AV engines, then we will perform the CDR sanitization. So these 6 AV engines are also handpicked for maximum effectiveness by the Sasa research team after years of research on the different compatibilities and the wide area of coverage it can have. And the second layer is true file type engines. So true file types are a little bit similar to what Aaron mentioned earlier. Like if there's an exe file disguised as a PDF file, we will know that this is an exe file by looking through the file headers, and we actually go pretty deep using 3 different file type technologies to detect it. And then lastly, we have content disarm and reconstruction engines. There are more than 10 plus based on the file types. So we have like office documents, videos, audios, email files like EML, MSG, archive files, video drawings, basically most of the common file types that you will come across. So this is a quick illustration to show the difference between traditional detection-based technologies versus CDR. So let's say you receive 6 files and 3 of them are clean. 1 of them has a 0-day virus inside. 2 of them are known viruses. So if you go through a traditional antivirus sandbox solution, of course, they will detect and remove the known viruses. But 0 day, being 0 day, is not in any of the definitions of the antivirus engines. So it will miss and manage to go through your environment. So we usually say, there's something that we usually say is detect nothing does not mean that it's safe. It's just that we can't really detect the virus. So for CDR itself, because of the way we treat every single file as an infected file, and we already have a set of rules to effectively clean each of the files. So if there are 6 files, the same thing comes in, we can be sure that you will receive back 6 files with the proper configuration, of course. And all these will be without any threats inside. So clean and fully functional files. So GateScanner CDR has been around for more than 10 years. And recently Gartner has picked up on this technology. So GateScanner has been mentioned as a sample vendor under the Gartner Hype Cycle, under the content disarm and reconstruction category. And then it was also mentioned in the market guide for OT security, as well as the market guide for email security. And in 2020, we won the Gartner Cool Vendor Award, as well as the InfoSec Award by the Cyber Defense magazine. So because of this, a lot of people are starting to realize that CDR is a very good technology and started to incorporate the technology in their applications. So because of that, there are a lot of people who claim to do CDR, but then when you are evaluating a CDR solution, there are 8 key factors that you need to look out for. So the first thing is the file fidelity of the CDR file. So because for CDR, we are doing a very deep kind of cleansing and transforming the files, it's very important that the original attributes of the file, the non-malicious ones, should be retained after the CDR. So we have heard stories about certain maybe some CDR technologies totally changing the files after performing CDR and all this. So this is the key difference between a good and a bad CDR technology. So how much you can retain the original file format while still cleansing the thread effectively. And then the second is the number of file types supported. So we support more than 190 types of files of various types. Most of the newer CDR players will start to do with maybe 1 or 2 file formats. Maybe they will convert like Office documents into PDF and flatten it and say this is CDR. In theory, this is a kind of mini CDR, but then the number of file type support is also important because these are not the only files that you will be facing in your environment. The third is the track record of the vendor. So how many deployed sites are already there, and what kind of support that you can get. So we have been deployed all over the world, especially in like Israel, Singapore, and the region, with hundreds and hundreds of sites. Most of them are in the sensitive and secure areas. The fourth point is the ability to perform fine-grained CDR. So this is also somewhat related to the deep CDR that I mentioned earlier. How much detail you can go down to perform the CDR. So an example, when we receive an email file like EML file, normally people would just do the scanning of the attachments. But what we do is we break it down into very small components. So a typical email message can have probably like 16 different kind of smaller files, like maybe the email body, HTML, the attachments, the embedded images in the email signature, and all these. So very, very small components. We perform CDR on each of them, and then we will put it back together and then give you the final result. So for number 5 is the ability to handle encrypted documents in archive. So so typically encryption is meant to protect the users, but these days we usually say that encryption is also kind of protecting the viruses, because if I'm a hacker and I want to hide a malware and send to you, I will do an encryption. So basically I will zip it and put a password in it, and most of the antivirus softwares will not be able to detect because this is an encrypted file. So we have a mechanism to handle this kind of documents by allowing the users to input the password or using a list of password dictionaries to decrypt, perform CDR, and encrypt back. Number 6 is the high scalability. When you are deploying the solution in the enterprise environment, scalability is very important. So for GateScanner, we can scale up and down without disrupting the operation by simply adding or removing the scanning engine. For number 7, credible and strong local support, definitely. Our team has been supporting the government and the enterprise customers in Singapore for more than 6 years. All of us are already trained directly by the product team in Israel itself as well. So having a very strong and credible local support is also very important, so that when something happens at night, you know who you can call, and you can be sure that there will be people who will help to solve it for you. For the last point, the support for external connectors. This is also very important because these days no systems can stay alone. We need to have connectors to other systems. Our connection to EasiShare is one of the best examples. So we have the REST API that allows any other system to come in, clean the file, and get back the clean file. So yeah, we support various external connectors, APIs, and even if you need to connect it to your sandbox or other solutions, you can also do so. So for my last slide, this is a quick overview of how the whole integration works. So basically, EasiShare end users will access the EasiShare platform, and they will have a file that they want to upload. So this file we put across here because it's an unclean file. It's an external file. So when they upload it, it will go to EasiShare server, and from there it will call the GateScanner API, and then we will perform the cleansing by the CDR engine, send back the clean file to EasiShare server, and then the file will be sent back to the user as well as to the IBM ICOS. So this is a quick overview of the integration itself, which later Aaron will show the demo of the actual interface itself. So this is all I have for today, and thank you so much for the attention. Back to you, Venus.
Thank you so much, Zol. Thank you for going through the how the CDR works and then some evaluation pointers. I think they were also really useful. Bruce, would you like to share your screen?
Yes,
then you can take over. Yeah. So over to you, Bruce.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So as I go through, EasiShare is a secure end-to-end security file sharing systems, and GateScanner CDR can scan and safeguard your file. Okay, so basically, I'll be going through with you the IBM Object Storage aspects of it. In my presentation, the next 10 minutes, I'll be focusing more on the security features of IBM Cloud Object Storage. Okay. Okay, why IBM Cloud Object Storage? The internet is changing how we used to store our data. IBM Cloud Object Storage is architecture and design for unstructured data. So when we talk about unstructured data, we are talking about your PDF documents, or usually those files that cannot be compressed or not easily compressed, like your video file, audio files, etc. Okay, object storage usage initially took off because it offered unique capabilities that were essential for the development of internet-based application. Today, many developers actually write and develop their app on the cloud, like AWS, Azure. So applications that serve large number of users all over the world on different devices, applications like Google, Dropbox, your Spotify, where you listen to your music, Netflix, where you watch your video, or even Facebook, rely on the unique capability of object storage to provide the primary consistent storage for all these unstructured data. Okay. The following slides, I'll be sharing with you IBM Object Storage, simple yet secure architecture, how it was built for extreme easy scalability. is security built in with our patented secure slice, and how it was architecture designed for availability and reliability, and how Erasure coding can bring efficiency for your data protection. Okay, and of course, I will also share you why is IBM Object Storage software defined at the end of my slides on my presentation. Okay, EasiShare is a secure end-to-end enterprise file sharing, and also just now we also go through the presentation. GateScanner CDR can scan and safeguard your file before you actually go to the object storage. So IBM Cloud Object Storage, we also have a unique and patented process to create a secure, available, and efficient storage solution. We encrypt the original data to ensure that all data that is distributed throughout the internal or external network is always protected. IBM Object Storage, we are not connecting through your HBA card or through your other file systems. Basically, we are connected through S3 or your HTTPS or HTTP. Okay. Then the encoded data throughout your internal or external network is always protected. The encoded data for Erasure coding is then added so that the data can be protected according to the configured requirement of the information dispenser algorithm. We call it LDA in short form. And finally, the data is sliced into segments for distributing to the size store. Size store for object storage it actually refers to the storage node where all the hard disks are all sitting. Okay. Okay, this slide actually shows an example of storing 1 terabyte of data. On the left side is a traditional storage, like your current block or your NAS. And the right side is the IBM Cloud Object Storage. Using traditional storage, the same copy of data may take up to 3.6 terabyte of storage or potentially more, because most storage protect the data locally, which creates some local storage overhead. And on top of that, there is remote storage to protect the data for disaster recovery. These may be additional copies. Customer tends to create additional copies, backups, and snapshots that use additional storage capacity and add on to even more overhead. So the cost of storing this copy is significantly enough, but added complexity of managing this copy also added to the cost. Example, every users will not have take only one snapshot. They will take multiple snapshots, right? So, and as you do more backup, you also incur cost for more backup software. Okay, so with IBM iCOS, the same 1 terabyte of data, we slice into multiple secure encrypted pieces of data. The data can be geo-dispersed and spread across 1, 2, 3, or even more sites. But the result is a single copy of data. So with IBM Object Storage, you only keep a single copy of data instead of multiple copies. That saves customer money that they can realize an average of 255% on ROI and about 44% lower cost of operation. Customer basically save because they need fewer physical resources like storage administrator, and they spend less time managing replication and taking snapshot. Okay. Okay, one of the unique differentiator of IBM Object Storage from our competition is the ability to configure the number of slices and the read and write threshold. For example, let's use 12 slices like in the previous slide. This is a configurable number that provides advantage about customizing the efficiency, availability, and reliability of the systems. Data is then written to 1 or more sites. In this example, let's write the data to 3 sites, assuming the customer has 3 sites, site A, B, and C. Okay, the data after came from the EasiShare, went to the CDR scan. the data is stored and ready for access. So we set a threshold of 6, which means that we have cut the data into 12 sizes. So when you set a threshold of 6, in any one time, 6 sizes is available, your data is always readable, okay? And the advantage of this, you can have access to all the data, even if you lose an entire site, okay? Or you lose a node, or you lose another node. As long as there are 6 nodes, the data is maintained. And of course, you can set higher threshold according to the importance of your data. But again, as you increase the threshold, I think your budget also increase accordingly, right? Because you need actually more nodes for the threshold configuration. Okay, so okay, IBM Object Storage, we support the capability to securely store data for government regulation or ransomware attack, or even like air-gap solution. Immutable storage solution introduce read once, read many, worm storage, and non-erasable, non-rewritable storage feature. This enables the businesses to meet the US Security and Exchange Commissioner 17A-4F requirements for compliant storage and compliant archiving of long-term and short-term records. So basically, in a lot of government tenders, or even the banks, when they call for tender for object storage, I think these are the few certification for object storage that is always the mean compliance before we can actually qualify for any tender or RFP. These security features are available at no additional cost across the portfolio of IBM storage offering. Okay. The big advantage of immutable storage is that no special API are required to read or write data to IBM Object Storage protected bucket to lock down data. The users actually can use the standard S3 API, I mentioned HTTPS or HTTP, to access the object storage with IBM ICOS. Data is put into a retention-enabled bucket, and policy can be set by using the application interface or again using the IBM Object Storage REST API. Okay. IBM Cloud Object Storage is software defined. I think we are the only vendor currently in the market as an object storage market leader that actually offers our customer the option. Either they want to buy object storage as an appliance from IBM, meaning the client can choose to buy hardware plus software from IBM as an appliance, or they can choose to get only the IBM software and deploy it on servers from another vendor. The vendor list you can see from here, some of the vendor lists certified here, you can see HPE, Supermicro, Lenovo, Dell, or even Cisco. Okay. The specific servers and configuration must be approved and support added to the IBM Object Storage software before the client can deploy the system. For a more detailed list, there's actually, you can find the certified hardware in the IBM website. Or you can go to IBM Object Storage website, you can find the certified list that we have actually tested and worked for IBM Object Storage. Okay. When you see here, I conclude my presentation here. I hope I've given you a quick overview of IBM Cloud Object Storage, a simple yet secure architecture, how it was built for extreme easy scalability, and the security built in with our patented secure slice, how it was architecture designed for availability and reliability, and how the Erasure coding actually works that actually brings efficiency for your data protection. Any question, feel free to raise up to me during the Q&A. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Bruce. Also, like he mentioned, please, you can already drop your questions under the Q&A because we are getting closer to our Q&A session. And then right now we have like a short demo by Aaron. We can already share screen. Yeah.
I have logged into the admin portal. On the left hand side here, you can see these various tabs. This is where you configure the settings, set up the various policies, and here you are basically managing the user rights and their privileges, controlling the access to the devices and folders. Now, before I show you the various security features of EasiShare, let me first show you how simple it is to connect EasiShare to ICOS. Under the Storage Management tab, click the plus button. Under Type, select ICOS. You fill in information like the path, the URL, access key. Now let me show you an example of how a storage setup that has been set up looks like. Let me go to ICOS storage here. This is the information of the storage. And in this key here, I'm actually pointing to the ICOS cloud version in the US. Now, when a storage has been set up, you can set up the drive or the folders under this storage by clicking this plus button here. Give a name, put a path, and here you can configure the storage capacity of this particular drive. Now let me show you an example of a drive that has already been created. ICOS drive here. In this case here, you can see that it has been allocated 5 GB capacity. Under the permission tab, this is where you grant user or group access to this drive. In this case here, you can see that Aaron Tan has been granted the owner permission. Later on, when I logged into the user portal, I will show you my access to this ICOS drive. Now, onto the security features of EasiShare. The first feature I want to highlight to you is our two-tier recycle bin. Now, when a user deletes his files, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and empties his recycle bin, all the files will flow into this admin recycle bin. Now, the IT admin can now recover the file from this bin before they are permanently deleted. The number of days you want to keep the files in the bin is configurable. You can say after X number of days, these files will be automatically purged. The second feature I want to highlight to you is the audit log of both the end user and the system admin. So from the end user report here, you can see who logs in what time, or in this case here, you can see Aaron here downloaded some files. I've also deleted some files. I also previewed some files, right? And in the system admin portal here, you can see me logging in and out at what time. Now, all this you can filter. Let's just say you want to search for a certain date range for a particular user and for what particular action, you can filter for them, and they are all exportable. Now, all these audit logs are designed to meet your security and compliance requirements. Okay, I'm now going to be logging into the end user portal. Now let me put in my login credential. As you can see, we have configured with a 2FA OTP for user login. Obviously, the IT admin has the capability to disable this function if you choose not to verify the identity of the user. Okay, my OTP has arrived. Let me put in the number. As you can see from the interface, this is very much based on the Windows File Explorer. On the left hand side here, you have the folders and the drive that you have access to. If you remember, under the admin portal, I was showing you that I have got access to this ICOS drive and I have been assigned as the owner. And inside this drive, I have actually created several folders as well. Okay, on the top here, these are all your functionality buttons. They are dynamic depending on your activity. Okay, under project A, I've actually uploaded some files. You can see here, I've actually tagged one file as being confidential. Anything that is marked confidential, you are not allowed to send it out to the external recipients. Let me just show you quickly. Let me try to send to my Gmail address. You should get an error message saying that sharing is not allowed because the document is tagged as confidential. Okay. Now, under normal sharing, let me just show you what I can do. So let me say I share to myself, yeah, and I want to verify the identity of Aaron. Let me just input the mobile number here. I'll type a message. Hello, Aaron. Okay, so here I have the capability to set the link expiry. So let's just say it will expire in a week's time. Now I also want to verify the identity of the recipient. So I switch on the OTP verification. So hence you need the mobile number here if you want to switch this function on. I can also switch this notification on to show that when this person has downloaded the document, per download or as a summary. I can also set the number of times this person can try to download. So maybe in this case, I'll set it as 3. And lastly, if I want to share with a view-only mode, basically the recipient will not be able to download or print the document. What he can do is he can preview the document and he will have his email ID splash across the document. Let me show you. So let me share this document now. Oh, sorry, I need to take this warning. Okay, so now the document has been shared. Let me go into my email address. Okay, you see the message, hello Aaron, view this document. So let me click on this. Okay, because I switch on the OTP2FA, right? So it's asking me now to generate OTP before I can download the document. So bear with me, let me get the OTP and input the number here. Okay, and I've also been told that the document will expire next Thursday at this time, and I've only been shared with a view-only permission. So let me click on this document. You can see that the recipient's email address is splashed across this document with the watermarks, yeah, and there's no functionality here for you to be able to download or print this document. Okay, I will now demo the capability of GateScanner CDR technology. Before I upload a document, let me show you. This is actually a PDF document and it contains some JavaScript. So when I press on this button, you can see it's bouncing. Hence, this is called a bouncing button PDF. Okay, I'm going to upload this document into EasiShare. I'm going to take out the tagging. Now, as this document is uploaded into EasiShare, EasiShare will send the file to the CDR. Basically, what they will do now is they will deconstruct the document itself and then cleanse it of any threads that they can see in the document from any things like scripts or macros or links or anything that is potentially malicious. It will remove them
Once it's removed, and then what we'll do is we will reconstruct the content and pass it back to EasiShare to send it to a storage, in this case ICOS. Okay, as you can see here now, the upload has been completed. Let me open up this PDF document. Let me download it first. And you can see now this button doesn't bounce. CDR has cleansed this file. Okay, I've now come to the end of my demo.
Thank you so much. So I will be sharing back my screen. So I think that was like a really good summary on how three solutions basically come together. While the files are cleaned on in the front side, and Bruce also went through like how the ICOS has like the other security certificates like on their side as well. And so thank you so much, everyone. So now we're just gonna have like one last like a recommendation, tips and tricks, like so for audience to take away from this whole webinar. And so let me ask the question of, when you look at the future of work, what are again, some tips and tricks that you can give us? What are some recommendations that you give us to actually like increase or improve the enterprise security? Erin, you want to take the first round? You are on mute. It's okay. Hang on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So for me, basically, it's with this cybersecurity team that we've been talking about. So I think it's important that the companies must assess what tools the workers will need, right, in order to work securely and remotely without compromising their productivity. So the solution you choose will obviously make a big difference. As we keep banging on, in Inspire-Tech, the security of our client is always a top priority. Now, however, I also want to emphasize that this is important for our clients to understand that data security is actually a shared responsibility, right? The clients should actually put in place, example, a strict access control policy, right, throughout the data lifecycle. And at EasiShare, we are committed to sharing this responsibility with our clients to help them ensure that they feel confident in using our solution to share the files securely with the external parties. And at the same time, the IT admin can maintain the visibility and control through the analysis and the data environment. Thank you.
Thank you too, Erin. Bruce? Oh, I can't. Oh yeah, okay, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
This cyber attack is occurring every minute. So as EasyShare can also support the air gap solution. So do consider that IBM Cloud Object Storage, we can also integrate with tape drive, tape library to create an air gap protection with the tape storage as part of the organization cyber resiliency strategy. Today, storing data on tape seems impossible, inconvenient at the age of today, easy access cloud computing. But that is also the big security advantage of this vintage technology. Since hacker has no way to get the information, unlike other storage media, you can easily pull a tape cartridge offline and simply store it on the shelf. Creating a physical barrier or air gap between hackers and your data. So no matter how good or professional is the hacker, once your data is offline, there's no way the data can be hacked or even stolen. Okay, vintage yet cost-effective solution you may want to consider. Thank you.
Thank you too. Then Zol?
Okay, thank you. Hi. So basically what I want to share is the attacks are getting more and more advanced, especially on the file-based attacks, which are usually delivered through either phishing websites or like phishing emails and all these. So it's really important for everybody to have better awareness as well as better technologies. First, like our integrated solution, where the access controls and all these are all controlled by the EasiShare platform, and any files that in and out are already cleaned by GateScanner, as well as the storages. The files are stored securely in the ICOS. So I just wanted to revisit the demo that Aaron was showing earlier. Just a little bit more elaboration on why removing this JavaScript from the PDF is so important, because from the quick look, you might just think that, the JavaScript is gone, so what, right? But PDF is actually a very complicated file format, and there are a lot of ways that you can embed certain things. You can add in certain codes to download payload from the TNT servers and all these. So the ability to remove and the embedded elements, and at the same time retaining the functionality. So you can see that at the end, you can still press the button. So the functionality of the PDF is not lost. It's not flattened into an image or something. But the underlying hidden codes are gone. So that's the key reason why this technology is so effective against other threats. There are a lot of other examples for other file types as well, but yeah, this is one of the key examples. So in summary, yeah, basically just need to be careful about the files that you are opening, and make sure that you have proper system security practices in place to make sure that both you and your organizations are safe. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, like all of you. And I also wanted, I know you also mentioned this before, but like having the employees also trained, it's also really important, and making them like a part of the all of these cybersecurity policies and regulations in the organizations, right? So what I'm gonna do, we already have like a couple of questions. Oh, hang on. Yes, I showed by mistake like what's coming after this. So we do have a couple of questions that we answered a couple of them already on the Q&A. And so from Kelly, where do the user know in total what file has been shared?
That one actually has been answered already. So let me just go through quickly.
Quickly, maybe.
All the questions here. I'll just, if it's okay with you guys, I'll go first. I'll pick up the questions relevant to EasiShare and I'll answer them. So the first question is about is it available as an on-prem solution or a cloud hosted? Yes, we do offer various deployment options. So on-prem obviously is being 100% on-prem, right, at your premises. It can be a physical server or a VM. This one obviously offering you the highest level of security and control. Then the other one is you can have it hosted on the cloud, and hybrid, basically, it's basically you're leveraging on your on-prem server and your cloud. And this one is actually ideal for anyone who is planning, doing some capacity planning and trying to modernize your infrastructure.
Yeah, and then let me ask the next one for Aaron, since you started, which is like, I think, super simple. Does EasiShare have agent for Android or iOS mobile phones and tablets?
Yes, we do. So we have any of the iOS and the Android. Yep, we do have the agent for them. So that's a very simple one.
And then I think that is it for EasiShare. The others are answered like back from the back end. And then Zol, let me ask you from here, like what are the different ways CDR can be deployed in an enterprise environment? Since it's about deployment and we just talked about EasiShare's one, you can also go for that one.
Sure. So basically, there are a lot of ways to deploy it. So the most common ones for the enterprise environment is either as an API. So this is how we integrated with the EasiShare solution as well. you can call the REST API from any applications that you have. Another way is also through the backend, what we call is multi-source server. So if you are integrating together with solutions like data diodes and all these for cross-domain file transfer, this is also one of the most common use cases that we have to have a cross-domain file transfer. So basically, it's an automated system that picks up the file from one place, do the cleansing, and send to another place. So another way is also in a form of kiosk. So for some organizations, they have locked down all their USB usages in their enterprise computers, and they only allow people to plug in a USB to our kiosk. So we clean it, and then we send it back into their internal repositories or any other file share that they want to do, or back to the USB itself. So these are some of the most common ways. Of course, there are a lot of other use cases, like through integration with the browser to download a clean files whenever you send to the API and do CDR on any files that you download. Or yeah, these are just some of the most common examples.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So there's one question about the cost of the ownership for the minimum 72 TB for the ICOS. Bruce, I think you can take this offline if you want, or if you just want to, because you want to answer now?
Yeah.
If it's short. If it's short, because like we are kind of out of time. Yeah.
Okay, just a very quick one.
Sure.
IBM, I'm assuming you are referring to 72 terabyte. We actually IBM Object Storage we price by raw capacity. So for 72 terabyte is about 144 terabyte raw. So the pricing is between $500 to $700 per terabyte. So if I use $500 multiplied by 144 terabyte, it's about 72,000 USD for a start. Minimum 72. Okay.
Yeah. Again, I think later you can take that offline. So Kelly, I think Max also has answered you. He was with us like during the webinar, even though he didn't speak. We also had one question from Oren and Lionel. So they are also answered here. So you can see the answers from the Q&A button there. And I'm checking like which one hasn't been answered, so we can maybe take a look at that. From Oren, we had like Zo, I think this is for you. So does GateScanner also include next-gen detection capabilities? But I think, yes, I can answer also. Yes.
Thanks for the question. Yes, there are also, apart from the 6 AVs that I mentioned, there are also next-gen antivirus engines that we integrate with. So for example, like Sentinel-1, Siren, all these. And then there was one thing that I missed out to mention earlier, which is we also have a very common use case in the mail environment. So there's something called GateScanner Mail that sits behind your Exchange server and just clean all the emails that you are receiving before sending back to you. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Just one more question from the IBM side which has been answered, but it's just like if anyone else is wondering, can I use my existing spare x86 server for ICOS? The question, and then the answer is yes, as long as the x86 servers are in the ICOS certified list. So I'm sure like it is also valid for the other servers as well, right, Bruce?
Yeah, as long as the server brands model is certified by IBM. As I mentioned in my presentation, there is a list in our IBM website that actually the users or customer they can verify the existing server model from our website.
That's cool. I think like we really ran out of time. Like then I will just go. Before we go off, we do have like a free trial like offered by like these 3 companies. So at the end of the webinar, when you exit Zoom, you will receive you will go to the page of survey. So if you are interested, please just fill out the form so like we can get back to you on this, and then we can tell you how you can actually implement this. And Yep, I will go to the next slide if it moves. Whoops, it was too fast, I think. Yeah, so we have 3 more webinars in the next 3 weeks. And again, focused on unstructured data challenges, and then we will be focusing on file security and remote work as well. And because like this is our basically experience in like our partners all have different capabilities. And so it's going to be interesting. So next week one is with IBM again, with SecureH, and from our side, EasiShare product manager also will be with us, TechWay. And if you want to register, you can use the QR code. So you can just immediately register. And then if you have time, we are looking forward to see you then as well. Then the last but not least item, if my PPT moves. Yes, so like from the registrants that we have had today, we actually had like every webinar, we do have like a lucky draw. So this time around, I will just tell the names, then we will contact these people. I know one of the winners have already like left because he had to do something. He or she, by the way, I'm not sure. Kenny EM is one. Then the other one is Yot Sheng. And then the other one is Zacharias Tay. So thank you so much. Like we will get in touch with you separately. And other than that, like I said, we'll have a short survey when you exit the webinar. It will be great if you can fill out. Thank you so much, Erin, Bruce, and Zaw for being with us and sharing about your products and your insights with us. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.